Now, we've talked about this a bit before, but the more I see, the more I want Angron versus Sanguinius at the Siege of Terra. Now, I'm not going to be talking about Warhawk or anything like that, even though I've got all the spoilers for it. I've done a separate video relating to that. So if you want to go and watch that, please go and do. What I want to talk about is the potential story for the book following Warhawk, because this is going to be one of the big events that happens at the Siege of Terra. It's going to be Sanguinius defending the Eternity Gate. And for me, this has to be one of the most pivotal events that happens not only for the character of Sanguinius, but also at the Siege of Terra itself. The traitors have broken the inner sanctum. The Eternity Gate is all that stands before them and total victory on Terra. But to do that, they must fight an angel. And for me, again, I always looked on this as a good versus evil moment. The light versus the darkness, the pure versus the tainted. This is where the angel will become death and unleash his wrath. I hope we see how truly devastating he can be, reaping his justice upon those who have taken the path of betrayal against the Imperium and the Emperor. But what I truly want to witness is Sanguinius facing his brother. Not Horus, we know his fate with that brother. I want to see Sanguinius take on his brother Angron. Now, the established law that we have at the moment says it's that Karbanda who fought Sanguinius at the Eternity Gate. Now, the reasons behind this change for me is we've technically already seen Sanguinius defeat Karbanda on Cygnus Prime. When Chaos tried to corrupt the Blood Angels, Sanguinius went inside the Cathedral Bone, cast Karbanda back into the warp and saved his sons. I personally feel the rematch wouldn't feel as important because we know Sanguinius has already defeated him once, so defeating him again wouldn't really have the same impact on that event. I think if you switch Karbanda with Angron, it would add a whole different layer to the content of that duel. Now, when it comes to Primarchs versus Primarchs, it's always a topic of hot discussion, especially when you put combat prowess into that picture. Making it Sanguinius versus Angron, I personally think would be one of the best duels they could ever do, and I think this is the right time for them to do it. We all know when it comes to Angron and Sanguinius, they're always considered to be one of the best when it comes to combat prowess, and I'm not going to get into that discussion, I'm not going to argue about it, but I think there's a whole different viewpoint to this. It's the emotional viewpoint. Angron is the complete opposite of Sanguinius at this time. It kind of has that light versus darkness vibe again, an angel versus a demon, literally. And at this point in the story, Angron is on a complete rampage. Nothing can stop him at the Siege of Terra. All the wards around the palace are fading, so he's getting more and more inside. Literally, no custodian can stand against him. I don't think any Primarch could stand against him, bar Sanguinius. And the only chance for Sanguinius to stop his brother Angron is at this moment, at this epic moment in time. Because if Angron gets through, if he breaks the Eternity Gate, Chaos has won. So this is the last stand of Sanguinius. This is where he makes his stand, not only for himself, not only for his father, but for humanity itself. If he fails, then humanity fails. He has that burden upon his shoulders. Maybe this is why he's so celebrated and we have Sanguinara every year, because of this epic tale of Sanguinius standing up for humanity. And if I'm not mistaken as well, I think it's Aaron Dembski-Bowden who's going to be writing the event at the Eternity Gate. He loves Sanguinius, he's a huge Blood Angel fan, he's written Angron before, and I think he loves the World Eaters as well, so he knows these characters, he respects these characters. Just imagine reading this battle. How would they do it? Like, I can't even think how they would do it. All I know is that, of course, Sanguinius has to win. He has to break Angron, banish him back into the bloody warp, break him over his knee. What would that mean for the traitors? Seeing Angron broken, defeated, and cast back into the warp. Surely that sends them into a mass of retreat with this great angel standing before them, covered in blood, battered, looking near death, but still he stands in the Emperor's light. Anyway, Chaperonios, that's enough waffling for me, as we always do. I would love to get your thoughts and feedback on this. Would you want Angron to replace Karbanda? Do you think actually if they use Karbanda, will it have the same impact for you as it does now in the established lore? Does it really matter? Does it not matter? Would you think Angron would be a better fit to do this? How are they going to end Angron's story on the Siege of Terra? Again, the established lore for Angron, I think he was pulled back into his ship, but I just can't see that with Angron at all. Angron turned up at the Siege of Terra surfing a battle barge, so I don't know how they're bloody going to get him inside of his ship. So hopefully this is something that could happen, and I think it would be great. I really, really do, personally. I think this would be one of the most emotional battles, one of the emotional events that happen if they put this into place. But again, that's just my opinion, as it always is. See you now, have a great day, and bye-bye.